The following is a paid presentation for Zeo, the first ever at-home sleep coach. Do you feel that your sleep is out of control? Do you wake up in the middle of the night? Is your sleep more frustrating than restorative? Now there's a way to help you learn to get a better night's rest. It's called Zeo. Zeo is the first ever at-home sleep coach that measures your sleep and then gives you personalized online coaching to help improve your sleep.
I know I needed to get good sleep, but I just didn't know exactly how to do it.
A clock can tell you your quantity of sleep. Only Zeo can show you the quality of your sleep.
I can't wait to look at all the data, and it's teaching me how to get better sleep.
It's like I have my own little personal trainer to help me sleep.
I have all this information at my fingertips to help me get the best night's sleep I can, and I'm getting the best night's sleep I've ever had.
Coming up, join technology reporter Sumi Das as she shows you how Zeo is transforming the sleep patterns of people from every walk of life. You'll also meet Dr. Michael Bruce, the sleep doctor, and learn why he calls Zeo a breakthrough in sleep science.
Why Zeo is such an amazing breakthrough is because now you can actually measure the quality of your sleep, do something about that quality, and almost guarantee yourself a great night's sleep.
You can see very quickly, instantaneously, how well you slept and how well you improved your sleep.
People who use Zeo report having better mental focus at work and better relationships at home. In fact, in a consumer study, 70% reported getting an average of an hour more of sleep.
My sleep quality has gone way up.
I'm getting over an hour more sleep every night.
The fact that the Zeo is allowing me to improve the quality of my sleep and be more rested and more energetic is priceless.
Zeo, the more you know, the better you sleep.
Hi, I'm Sumi Das. As a reporter who's covered technology for years, I believe Zeo is one of those rare inventions that comes along which is a true breakthrough. It's a breakthrough because it can really help solve a problem that all of us grapple with, and that's not knowing how to get a better night's sleep. We're facing a sleep epidemic in this country. Did you know that Americans on average are getting 2 hours less sleep than we did a century ago? Diabetes, depression, even obesity are now being linked to sleep deprivation. And our hectic 24/7 pace of life is only making our sleep worse, much worse.
If I don't sleep, I'm pretty cranky.
Definitely need coffee to stay awake during the day.
I can toss and turn quite often, and it's hard to get to sleep sometimes.
When I'm more stressed out, it's more difficult for me to go to sleep.
When I don't have enough sleep, my brain just can't function.
I'll be working and it'll just hit me like, wow, I'm really tired. I could use a nap right now.
I'm not as happy as I could be because I'm tired.
The problem is that up to now, knowing the causes of our poor sleep and how to improve our sleep has been a mystery. Well, now you can solve that mystery with Zeo, the first ever in-home sleep coach. Zeo helps you improve your sleep. It helps you see what's stealing your sleep and then gives you online coaching so you can sleep better. People who use Zeo report having better mental focus at work and better relationships at home. In fact, in a consumer study, 70% reported getting an average of an hour more of sleep. Health and wellness professionals are recommending Zeo because it addresses the critical third point of what's known as the triangle of health, consisting of diet, exercise, and sleep.
Like a nutritionist helps people to lose weight or a trainer helps people to get in shape, Zeo has the ability to help people to get their sleep to a place to improve their quality of life and get a better night's rest.
Here's how Zeo works. Before you go to sleep, you put on a soft, lightweight headband. Zeo's soft wave sensor technology measures your brain waves and sleep patterns and sends your data wirelessly to the Zeo bedside display. In the morning, you can see how long it took you to fall asleep, the amount of deep sleep you received, how many minutes of REM sleep you had, even how many times you were awakened. This kind of minute-by-minute feedback has never been available to you before. And best of all, Zeo is right there in your home on your bedside table, letting you see every morning how you slept the night before.
Sleeping to me used to be lying down and closing your eyes and waking up in the morning. And that was it. That was sleeping. Now I realize that there are phases of sleep, and I know how to get to those phases of sleep. I know how to get the right balance of those phases of sleep. I'm coached on how to do it. I go online and I check my scores, and I know that I've got a good night's sleep.
Zeo, the more you know, the better you sleep.
Joining me now is Dr. Michael Bruce, recognized as the sleep doctor. Dr. Bruce is the best-selling author of Beauty Sleep and Good Night. He's also the WebMD sleep expert and a frequent guest expert on television programs such as The Doctors, The View, and The Today Show. Dr. Bruce, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so I was under the impression that if you got 8 hours of sleep, that you were in pretty good shape. But there's actually a lot more to it than that.
There really is. Most people think about sleep and they think about the quantity of sleep or the hours, number of minutes of sleep. But in fact, equally as important, if not maybe even more important, is the quality of the sleep that they're getting.
And tell us about the different phases of sleep.
Sleep is made up of several different phases, in particular 3. There's light sleep, which makes up about 50% of the night, and that's the sleep that gets in between the deep and the REM sleep. Then there's deep sleep, and that's really the physical restorative sleep. That's the wake up and feel great sleep. Then there's REM sleep. That really has a lot to do more with memory consolidation, concentration, focus, even creativity. So what's unique about Zeo is it actually creates something called a ZQ, which is a summary of your light sleep, your deep sleep, and your REM sleep, giving you an overall score of the quality of your sleep across an entire evening. So never before has somebody been able to wake up in the morning and say, wow, how well did I sleep? Look over to the side and be able to figure it out right then and there.
Yeah, I was fascinated to see how my ZQ scores changed in the first week that I was using it. I really saw some changes in the numbers.
Actually, your information was pretty interesting. Let's take a quick look. So what we see here is your sleep across an entire evening. The gray represents that light sleep we were talking about. The dark green represents deep sleep, and the lighter green represents REM sleep. The orange tells us when you woke up. And here it looks like you had a pretty big awakening in the middle of the evening.
Yeah, I should explain that I have a newborn at home, and occasionally she still wakes up in the middle of the night and needs to be fed. So that's what happened there, and that's why I was up for probably like an hour.
Yeah, actually, as a matter of fact, you were up for, looks like an hour and 17 minutes.
Yeah.
Let's look at a more typical night's sleep for you. So here we have a classic Sumi evening. What we've got here is multiple times where you're waking up throughout the evening. You can tell that by the orange. Of course, the gray is, again, that light sleep. You really don't have as much deep sleep as I'd like to see you have here.
Me either.
And your REM sleep is sparse throughout. We notice here that your ZQ score is about a 63, and then you've got a total amount of sleep of about 5 hours and 35 minutes. Not a whole heck of a lot of sleep there. The good news is that the coaching program, I think, gave you some interesting recommendations.
That's right. After I started making use of the coaching feature, I made a few simple changes. Clearly, I have to wake up in the middle of the night if my baby is hungry. That's not an option to eliminate that. But what I did avoid was answering emails right before I went to bed. And also not drinking tea after 3 p.m. That was really keeping me up too, I think. So I made those small changes and it had an impact.
It really did, actually. So here we have your sleep just 2 nights later after the coaching. And look what we see. Deep sleep is now spread out through almost 2/3 of the night. We have REM sleep getting larger and larger throughout the night. Again, a great amount of light sleep and only 1 awakening in the morning when your alarm went off. So here we see your ZQ went up to almost 79. That's pretty impressive, going from 63 all the way to 79.
I definitely remember waking up after this night's rest and feeling better the next day, and feeling better throughout the day, actually.
Well, that would make sense to me, because you have to remember, Zeo does something that's not been done before. Zeo actually looks at your information, creates personalized recommendations for you, and then just like a scale when you're watching your weight go down, here you can actually watch your sleep get better and better.
What I've learned from Zeo is that it's really not about the quantity of sleep, but the quality of sleep. And as an example, this morning my 2-year-old son woke me up at 5:15, and while I got less than 6 hours of sleep, I was able to look at my Zeo and see that I still got 28 minutes of deep sleep. And for that reason, I'm rested, I'm refreshed, I've got the energy for the day.